Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, great. So I'll let you take it from here and just tell me when to move to the next slide.
Okay. So yeah, the heart program, it was a discussion I was having with Michael yesterday of how we all do magic. An idea comes to mind that out of nowhere, and then you turn it into something tangible. And for us here at White Emerson, that's an idea that now has materialized into a program, and it's been systematized at White Emerson to where little by little every employee here is accepting it and also promoting it. So to get to that point, yes, Aaron, it was a lot of work to get to this point. We tried a few things, didn't work. We discovered several ways how not to make it work, and we finally got it to a point where it's producing results. You mentioned the sales, but it's doing more than the sale. The sales is just the result of the services that the heart program is providing. If you don't mind going to the next slide. Okay, so it was inaugurated, Michael, it was the 30th, correct? Last month, July 30th.
Yep.
So it's a little less than a month, and this is so far what I was able to track in terms of families that benefited from this. We got 9 families that received counseling from a doctor that is part of the team and a pastor of a church at the same time. And I got 2 families that needed counseling in Spanish, so I found a person to integrate that was bilingual. We got 5 families that got assisted by the state attorney. 1 family that was assisted by the real estate agent, and 1 family that was just yesterday. 1 family that was assisted by an insurance agent, a life insurance agent. So these are families that got additional help. And all this has great value for the families. I knew when we started doing this that it was going to work. It was just a matter of finding the way to make it work and getting everybody involved. So I don't take credit for this. This is teamwork. I got a lot of support from Michael. One time I called Erin and I asked her for some ideas as well. And then everybody here, along with the team, that now makes up the heart team. Next slide, please. So more results. This is for the team. So now the team is sharing ideas of how to make it better. One of the team members, he's great. Actually, he's a couple. They're great on marketing and using social media. They're young enough to where they just know the ways to get more traction with what they put in their on their social media. So they're sharing ideas on that, and then one of the lawyers is going to help us with the lead sharing bylaws and how to do it correctly legally. We're going to be discussing that on Thursday. We have a lunch meeting, and we're going to be talking about those. So now the team is bringing all this knowledge and ideas of how to make the team better. Virtual events, and that goes along with what Aaron told us a moment ago, that doing some virtual events. One of the lawyers, actually, he does all his events virtually, and he's very successful in doing so. He's going to share some ideas of events. One of them is, you see it in the bottom of the slides there, it's Law Day. So we're going to be able to have the whole team there and answer questions to families in regards to estate and pre-planning and anything related to what we do. They're going to be able to answer those questions, and having a couple of lawyers there is going to be very beneficial. Broadening our network, so it's more exposure. It's not just more exposure for the mortuary here or for myself. It's every member of the team. It's getting more exposure because now my network is seeing them, and their network is seeing all of us. So putting all 8 team members, now everybody's network is much bigger than it was before the team was created. So it benefits everybody. And I discussed about virtual events. These are some of the themes that we're contemplating. The law day, life in order, how it's done. That's a huge project. It's going to take us a little while to get there, but it's going to be pretty much for churches and instructing our church leaders and the clergy of how everything is done from the moment the mortuary gets a phone call, what takes place side to side, even show them how to conduct the service from their perspective. So we're going to put all those things together and even give them a certification that they know how everything takes place. Again, that's the reason it's going to take us a little longer to get there, but it's on the works. We also have a veteran honoring project. So we're going to be adding more members to the team and be the ones that provides all information pertaining to veterans, how to honor them more, even adding some of the clubs here in the area that will volunteer to donate things to the family. Some of the restaurants can donate some maybe some meals or the opportunity to gather after the passing of a veteran. So all those things are in the works, but I'm not doing it by myself now. I have a whole team supporting this effort. Next slide, please. Please stop me at any time if you have any questions.
And I'll watch the chat bar too if anyone wants to chat questions on the side.
Okay. So the results here. So now the directors here at White Emerson, they're being taught how to introduce the heart program. They're introducing it as the aftercare program that includes the heart program. So they're introducing that. They're introducing my information or calling me when I'm available to go and meet the at-need family. This is huge for me because now I am connecting with that family, and I wouldn't be a stranger later when I call them to see how they're doing and do my aftercare call. It's making a huge difference. I already set some appointments on that with this new system. So the personal intro to at-need families, it's huge. I hope everybody has that opportunity at their own funeral homes. Supported by Greystone. Greystone, it's a company that I guess is the one who introduced Envision here. And the counselor, he is all for the heart program. And he is the one who came here last week and instruct everybody on how to integrate this program. And he thought it was the greatest thing ever. And that I guess another funeral home is doing this on the East Coast, but they charge for it. They charge $250 to have access to fewer professionals than what we have in the heart program. The acceptance, the internal selling. Now, again, the directors are starting to see value in that. Turning customers into clients. That's something that I was taught years ago. A customer is someone who buys one time from you. A client is someone who buys several times from you. So by creating this relationship with this program, it develops, again, that relationships, and they send more families over. So that turns a customer into a client. And the bottom one, I can't really see, okay. Sets a funeral home apart. So now we're not in direct competition with all the funeral homes around us. We have one 3 blocks away from here. But what we have to offer, it's totally different. We have so much value. You're going to see the financial value. And one of the slices that we have coming up, that now we're so different. So when they're trying to compare, let's say, direct cremation, we can say with direct cremation, you get all these other services as well. So again, it sets us apart. Next slide, please.
I just have to say, I love the term internal selling, because how hard is it sometimes to get the at-need staff and the funeral directors on board? And I know that took some time and energy and effort, and you've done a great job. So I'm going to steal that phrase for the future.
Yeah, thank you. And you're absolutely right. I was having issues in the beginning on here with the directors buying into the program, and that's where Greystone came in and cured the problem, because they saw pre-need as being against at-need, and they were very protective of the families. And now that they see the value, that it's all part of it, and that it's not their family, it's everybody's family, it's changed that mentality, and everybody's more optimistic of participating in it and having the families benefit from the program. So that's the integration. So including every need package. So every folder they give out to a family with the contract and prices and everything else, it has a flyer of the HEART program, and it has my information in it as well.
That's great.
And then the personal intro at Need Families, supported by Greystone. I already mentioned that. Business counselor, the acceptance, the internal selling. Yes, they're seeing the value. And okay, the aftercare calls. So present myself as the aftercare manager. So just a perception when I call and I say I am the aftercare manager here at White Emerson, it's very different than using other titles, because they know I'm calling to see how they're doing, and then I start talking about all these programs that we put together, complementary, to assist them, and just the reaction that I get from them. It's always, wow, you guys really care so much for families. I never seen anything like this. I can tell you all kinds of stories, but I know we're limited on time. Provides more topics to discuss, obviously, because I ask them how they're doing, and if they say anything like, yeah, I'm having to sell my mom's home, and I don't know what to do, and as they mention those situations, then I have solutions for them. I have the resources that I can send them to, or at least offer it to them. And if they don't take them, they at least appreciate the fact that I have those resources available for them. Next slide, please. Sorry, I'm missing that too. How to start a program. So you have to sell the idea first to your funeral home. And my best advice on that is use your manager to do that for you. For some reason, they will listen more to them, and they can say, you know, other funeral homes are already doing that. So that's my best recommendation. Go through your manager and have them talk to your the owner or the director at that funeral home. And you can always use White Emerson as an example. Coordination with your manager first. I'll be glad to assist you if you have any questions. But I like to respect the order of how to say this. I lost the word I was going to say here. But I like to respect authorities, and I think if you go to your manager, if you need assistance, I'll be glad. Jurisdiction is what I was looking for. I'll be glad to assist you either remotely, if you want me to talk to the managers at your funeral home. I'll be glad to do that, again, remotely, or if you're nearby, even in person, as long as we schedule it at least a week ahead. And I can share the steps and how to get this done, how to do the interviews with the team members, and the rules that you have to set in order to make it work, and so on. And then integrating the program with the funeral directors. After what I learned here, I can share some of those ideas of how to integrate that to where they see value in the program. Okay, next slide. So monetary values, and this is only 4. Remember, it's 8 members, and they're all offering something. So the real estate agent offers $950 worth of services for free to the families. The counselor, it's providing 4 hours that is worth approximately $600 to families that need any kind of counseling. It's either spiritual counseling or just psychological counseling. The financial planner, he's offering at least an hour. He's done more. Financial planner, $200 worth. The attorney, he's $400 an hour, and he's giving at least 1 hour of consulting to the family members. So if you put those together, we're pretty close to, I believe, $2,000 of value with these services. And that's not including the other team members. Next slide, please. And I would say just do it. Don't think about it too much. I mean, it's an idea that it's already there and it's already working. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You can make it better, but you don't have to recreate it. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, for me, what it means is that you're going to be helping more families, and that's my payoff. That you're going to be more effective, and at the same time, it's going to benefit you financially in some way. So that's why Erin was thanking me earlier for sharing this. And to me, again, the value is in being able to help more families out there. And that will be through you in this case.
Awesome.
Okay, the last part, just to finish, the program is transferable. The other programs that we're developing, the same team is going to be participating in all the other programs. So that's all I got.
What?
I
So
hope
tell
that helped.
me, John, that's amazing. First of all, what is the veterans program? I haven't heard about this. I'm excited to hear.
It's in development, but what that's going to be, we're going to add more complementary services for veterans to attract more of those services to the funeral home. So we want that go-to place. We want this White Emerson's to be the go-to place for veterans. And knowing that most of them are going to go to Riverside, it's about an hour from here, National Cemetery. So we want to make the package so attractive with many volunteers from the community that they will want to come here. That's what we're working on with the veterans.
Excellent. Thanks, John.
Of course.
Any other questions from anyone or questions, thoughts? You can chat or unmute yourself.
I just wanted to say that, John put a lot of work into this, but it was also, a lot of the team and the directors and owner of White Emerson as well. So the key is kind of to get their buy-in and work as a team to make it happen. All of those interviews and all those things, it took months to actually enact, but now that it's rolling, he's already seeing results, in helping so many families. And he mentioned the other day he had somebody in the group referred somebody, and he made 2 sales just out of it, just from a referral because of the heart program. So there's all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, that was pretty nice. Last week, a couple came in, just walked in and said, John, someone you served told me that you have this program going on, and we really liked it. In fact, if we can, we would like to participate on it. It was the easiest sell. They came here. I just signed him up. Within an hour and 15 minutes, I think I had 2 contracts done. That was amazing.
That's great. Yeah, it's just neat to see that you've just done an incredible job of. I hate this kind of corporate trip, but thinking out of the box. We hear that all the time, but you really have kind of broken the mold. We give you guys a program that works and a process that works, and we're always trying to think of new ways, but you're in the field every day seeing what needs to be done, and you saw a need and you were able to kind of fill that space. And I think it also gives you energy because it allows you to serve more people. It allows you to connect other people who obviously have a heart for service. And there's just no way that can't pay off. It's not going to happen tomorrow. If you're newer in the business, you don't want to spend 80% of your time, like we've talked about the farming philosophy. But for those of you that feel like you've been in it for a while and it's a little stagnant, this is an incredible program. And like John said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Any other questions or thoughts from anyone?
I just wanted to say that I've worked with attorneys before and other professionals to put on seminars. This was before pre-COVID, and it is really good. I think people appreciate when you sponsor and do things together and share not just your information, but legal information is really valuable about estate planning and probate and things like that. And I did get a couple of contracts out of it, but John's program is just more extensive, and I think it's a great program, and thank you for sharing. And I think I'm going to try to put a program in place like this in Houston,
That's what I love to hear. I think that's the whole goal of this, is that and that kudos to John, and thank you, John, for always being so kind and willing to share. But Jane, you could even just reach out to John directly. For those of you that might not know, on WhatsApp, next to people's name, it shows their phone number, so you have everyone's contact information. But just reach out to him directly as you're doing it, and you might have some thoughts to help him, and vice versa. You know, let's all remember we're working together to make ourselves and our firms the best that we can be. So that's really great. Thanks, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Let me look in the chat. Okay, so one other thing before we've got a couple other things I want to touch on, but you know, as we're wrapping up summer, we're getting into fall. September and October historically have been some of our best sales months, which is really exciting. You know, people are settling back in, getting back into school, but we then sometimes get a little comfortable where we're following up with all the people that we've had from the summer. It's really important that this is the time we start focusing on that magic number of adding 5 new leads a day. 5, one hand, not 10. 5 new leads a day. We've done presentations on this about what that expands out to, but it adds up to about 400,000 in annual volume. I won't go through the numbers, just trust me in that. We've done that presentation. But if you're adding 5 new leads, that just means it's 5 people you've never talked to before that have agreed in some capacity to allow you to follow back up. That's a new lead. You just need 5 of those every day. So what John talked about today is a great way to start working on that. You know some of the other more common lead sources: call, mail call, recycled, unfunded. But Travis is going to talk briefly just about referrals. Some of you are doing a great job with referrals. Some of you, I was always one that could always do a little bit better. So I'm going to hand it over to Travis and let him share a little bit.
I'm going to share. I took a little slideshow from the Dropbox. You guys might laugh at this, but I shortened there was a referral one in there. Do I just click this to share my screen, Wes?
Yeah, you should. Just a little circle with a line through it that says screen.
It's not letting me.
Oh, do we have to make
That's
presenter?
letting me.
Hold. Wes, you're muted.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you're good.
Just let you know, I didn't pick the graphics on this. We're going back, but it just goes to show you that referrals is an age-old technique or a standard that has never changed over many, many years. And so it's kind of funny how I pulled this up. But anyway, so the referral process, I'm not going to go through and read every single one of these, but I think there's a lot of good points. I love John's presentation on that about referrals and networking a few things. And some of this will be touched on this, but I can only see some of my screen. So let me see if I can pull this over. Asking for referrals is a must in your sales process. This is the quickest way for you guys to bounce from one sale to another sale. I guarantee it, okay? The success of referrals is based upon a strategy, not a tip or technique. So you have to do this all the time, okay? And I can't really see all of it. In creating a referral mindset, expect referrals, don't be ashamed to ask. What is your mindset? Do we have a referral mindset? Do we forget to ask because we don't like to be asked? I think that's what it says. I'm having to move this thing around. Are we alert enough to catch referrals when they appear? How many times have we been in casual conversation with someone? They say, I gave your business card to someone, everything else. You need to stop and ask them for their name, telephone number, and say you'll follow up with those people if they don't hear from you, because 9 times out of 10 they're not going to call you off of just a business card that someone's gave them. Okay, but also during the presentation, when they talk about their friends and their families and their kids, make a mental note of this, and you'll be able to turn those around as referrals. Do you feel you need to get referrals, and do we ask for them? Another thing is why don't we ask? This was we participated in a sales training in January, and it was amazing they talked about why we don't ask for referrals. And some of them, you know, because we don't give referrals. And so some people don't want to be asked for those. We feel that we'll never get some of these. We're afraid to lose the sale. I like this one because we feel like we don't want to put that client on the spot. And I think couldn't be further from the truth. So people are for the most part want to help you out. And if you give a good service and show them what you're sharing and the information you're sharing, I guarantee you they're going to want to share with their friends and their family. Okay. I love this one because cold calling is so fun. So if you don't like to ask for referrals and get those easy referrals that John had, just 2 walked in, then just keep cold calling. Just keep doing what you're doing. Next one is because we don't need any more good leads. So I love that, John. But yeah, I got 2-1. And it takes a little bit of time sometimes. So don't give up on the first time. I think some of the times we ask for referrals 3 or 4 times and we don't get any referrals, and then we stop. Way back when, I think I've shared this with some of you, is I had a agent that was starting to really struggle with leads and everything else. I said, start asking for referrals. He got 23 names off of one person. And that gentleman says, I know you can't work all these all at the same time. Call me or email me the 3 names you want me to call in advance, and I'll set them up for you. That guy worked off of that 23 leads for about 2 months, 3 months. Okay, that was a pretty cool thing. So here's my graphics. What is my mindset going to be? That's what you need to ask yourself. Am I going to ask for referrals, or am I going to let these opportunities pass by? This is kind of, I touched on this a little bit earlier, but why people are willing to give you referrals. And there's a study, 52% of families will provide their friends and families, but you just have to ask. But 5% of us agents will not even ask. Okay, so we need to change that and become 100% on asking for referrals. Who to ask for referrals? So pre-funded, we always ask the ones that we've sold, but are we asking the people that we're not funding? Those people generally are more apt to give you names. They may or may not be able to make this happen for them, but they know their mom, their parents, their grandparents, or someone else in their family or their close circle of influence that would want to have a pre-arrangement taken care of. Another one, ask business associates. This is that building up that team network that John was talking about. Asking friends and family, anyone that trusts you and sees the value in the products that you have. This is a kind of a same kind of a slide that we talked about, is to try to jot down the names or keep a mental note of when you're doing that warm up in that in your pre arrangement or your PWO arrangement. Be making a mental note of all the people that they mentioned. Could be their neighbors, could be, you know, their brothers or sisters and things like that. So be making that mental note. Wear your name badge around. I wish Rex was on the call right now. Nicholas is going to jump in here with me. I wish Rex was on the call. He has probably sold over the last 6 months. I bet he sold 5 to 6 plans talking with people at the gas station. He has a golf shirt that he wears that has his mortuary logo on it, and people ask him about, are you working at this mortuary? And that strikes up a conversation. I want to go back. Anyway, another thing about that is you have to be prospecting all this everywhere you go. So prospecting is based on the Johnny Appleseed principle. Always be prospecting. Plant so many seeds that you don't have to worry about each individual cell. You have much more confidence when you know that if one cell falls through, another will sprout up in its place. Build relationships. Treat prospects as if they were already your best customers, your best clients. And John hit on that very well earlier too, about being able to build those relationships and having those in place. If Wes could do me a quick favor, I couldn't find it quickly, and I want to be able to show it. I want to show page 43 on the new training manual. If you can find it quickly. If you can't, I'll just hold it up in my camera if you guys can see this. Can you find that?
A sec, Travis, just 1 second.
While you're looking for that, I used to wear just a Larkin pin. It wasn't even my full name tag. And I've told you guys about my 7-Eleven sale. And she said, oh, you guys did my sister's service last year. And it's just a conversation starter. I'd sometimes forget, and I'd be out at lunch or something, and someone would come up and start talking to me. So, or West has a good story about where he got slightly frustrated with someone at Alpha Graphics and he forgot he had his name badge on. So just make sure you're nice to people when you're wearing it. But it really is a good way to start a conversation. Oh, look at Gary. See, nice work. Have you been wearing that out in public?
Always.
Nice.
Yeah,
And have you gotten any comments or conversations?
I get people who will be like, I see their eyes do the glance down, and like they'll say my name at some point where I haven't really even introduced myself, and I'll just be like,
Yes,
Yeah.
good. You know, aren't you the one with the spaceship tanning bed?
the spaceship what?
Tanning bed, aquamation.
The aquamation
Oh.
machine.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I just got my name tag for White Emerson. I'm glad about that. And I asked Laura for a Craft Sussman polo or shirt or name tag today too. So
Yes.
Yeah,
they're
it
good
really
enough.
is a great idea.
Totally a conversation starter always. So
Oh, Heather just sent it to me. Hold on. I can pull it
one
up.
thing I'll add on this referrals, Travis. I had this manager when I very first started who said, I'll never forget this. He said, so cold calling is God's punishment for not asking for referrals.
There
I
you
know
go.
that all the time. He would say that in every training we had about referrals. We would always open with that.
Yes.
It stuck with me. It was
Yes.
pretty
Yep.
good.
Okay, Travis, I've got it.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to, this is, some of you may or may not have seen this, but this is our new manual, training manual we've set up. And it basically gives you the sales process from 0 to 100. And so kind of my closing thoughts for this. On this, you can see the third step down. So you have the warm up, you have the value statement, you're building the value of the PWO and the presentation you're just about ready to give. And then there is a referral introduction. Okay. If you guys are not using this and doing this every single time, this will definitely shoot you in the foot. But I suggest you do this. I'm not going to read. Well, maybe I'll just read on page 45. It just says this. It says, this is the line that's in everyone's manual. We've got this. This line is in everyone's manual. This sheet is not. But this is just a good reference to know that there's an opportunity to ask for referrals before it, and then you'll be able to gather the names at the end. As you can see, that's the second one down on the warm down at the end of it. But it says this. It says, when we get done going through this book, you will see the incredible personal value they are to you and your family. Most families will ask how they get extra copies for their family members and close friends. I promise to take a few minutes before I leave today and give you an opportunity to order additional books for your loved ones. Fair enough? That's as simple as it is. So you're basically setting it up to ask for referrals and in a very soft and open way to do that. Then when you get to the end of the presentation, you have the sheet in your packet that has all of the personal contact information. That's a great time to have them start filling out some information while you're working out contracts for them. Just say, hey, so I can get those copies to your other friends and family. Please put their information down here. And sometimes I would even go so far as to ask them to call ahead and let them know that I'll be calling. That seems to set a little bit of a roadmap for you so you can actually get into the doors even easier. So if you're not doing this, I suggest you start doing it on every single appointment. So any questions?
That was awesome. I like the graphics, the old school 80s graphics, by the way.
I loved it too. So
It shows it doesn't change.
presentation.
I
Yeah, the
probably
principles are true.
I probably put that presentation together 15 years ago, Travis.
Well, there was like 45 slides, so I broke it down and I went fast.
Yeah.
So and
That
I
was-
just pulled
That would definitely be a presentation of mine 15 years ago, at least 45 slides. That was probably a short presentation.
Yeah. Anyway, so the moral of the story, guys, is, and I say this to all of my team members, it is the quickest way for you to bounce back from one sale to another. And if you don't believe me, then just stick with cold calls. But realistically, you can ask for referrals quickly, have them call in advance, and then follow up within 2 days, and then send those people that referrals, send them a thank you card. And that'll go a long way too. So if you can do that, it'll change the game. As Aaron was talking about, we've all been pushing, talking, having all these conversations for the last few months. Now it's time to go back and even ask for referrals on those, even if they haven't funded them. I guarantee you, everyone that you've talked to knows how important this is, whether they've done it or not. And so they have a few names in there. So make it a habit of doing it every single time and prospect everywhere you go.
Thanks, Travis. That's awesome. Okay, any questions or thoughts there? I was one that was guilty when I first started. I did not ask for referrals, probably my first year. And so I even went back once I got better at it, and I would call my old clients and how have you been? And I would just say, part of my job is to follow back up with families. Who else do you know that would benefit by having the free planning guide? Not who wants to buy, not who could afford to buy. And probably 40 to 50% of them said, you know what? Yeah, I told my sister we did this, and she has asked about her own cremation plans. So even if you haven't done it up to this point, just go back through your book of business and follow back up with your people, especially with everything going on right now. So, all right, good job, Travis. So we're going to let Wes wrap it up. He's got some exciting information to share. So Wes, it's all you.
The pressure's on. Exciting information. That's good.
Yes, make it great.
To share my screen real quick. I'm going to really strive and try to do this in 10 minutes. So what I need for you guys to do to make this go fast is get your cell phone devices out and open up your calculator. I'm going to take you through a really quick exercise. Shouldn't take long.
Fine.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so this is, it's so funny how time goes by so fast, but my records indicate that we probably maybe showed this to you November of last year as we were getting ready to set goals for the new year. So it was probably getting towards the end of November, first part of December. I think it was in December too, but I pulled the numbers from November of 2020. So I've updated this. So these are the year-to-date numbers for Envision. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but this is just kind of where I get the statistics. So this is why it's important for you to submit your weekly productivity report for two reasons. One is that we have team averages, and then of course you have your personal averages. So if you don't submit the report, then we can't have accurate personal averages. But what I want to do here is simply take you through this exercise, and then after this call, send you a blank sheet so that you can do this on your own, so that you can set up what you want to accomplish from a sales volume standpoint before the end of 2020. So next week on Tuesday is September 1st. So this is a great week to do this, to kind of get you all staged up and ready for the last 4 months of the year. So just to keep this simple, get your calculator out, and we're going to go off the team averages. Now, you have your own average. If you want to know what that is, you can log into Homesteaders for your policy average. You can reach out to us if you've been submitting weekly productivity reports to look at to figure out what your average is. But we're going to just use an average commission of 8%. So hypothetically, this is just a sample, but between now and the end of the year, I want to make another $24,000 in income. So basically, my goal is to make $6,000 per month for the next 4 months. So my 4-month income goal is $24,000. With your calculator, take $24,000 and divide that by 8%. This is your average commission. And by doing that little quick math problem, that's going to tell you how much volume you need in order to make $24,000 before the end of the year. So do that calculation real quick. 24,000 divided by 8%. And use your 8% thing, or you can obviously go 24,000 times 0.08. But that's going to give you,
First one to get it gets a high five, virtual high five.
yeah, virtual high five. So you're going to get 300,000 in volume. So my average commission is 8%. I want to make $24,000. I need to sell $300,000 in volume. And then the next thing you need to know is what your average sell volume is. Again, this might be tracked on your weekly productivity report. It may also be tracked on the homesteader side. The thing on the homesteader side is that that's your policy average. And we know that sometimes you sell two policies to a husband and wife as opposed to one. There's obviously a quick way to back into that. We won't spend time on that. But if I just go off of our team average, this is off of the weekly productivity report team average. It's $6,252. So I'm going to take my volume goal of $300,000. I'm going to divide that by my average sale amount, which is $6,252, which means that I need 48 closed sales. I need 48 closed presentations. Okay, I've got it down that far. The next step then is to take I need 48 sales before the end of the year. And my closing percentage is our team average on the weekly productivity report. The closing team average is 45%, which is a phenomenal team average, by the way. But whatever your personal closing percentage is, so you take 48 sales. I need 48 sales. I'm going to divide that by 45%. That means that I need to present to 106 families before the end of the year. Then I'm going to look at my appointment persistency. So your appointment persistency is the number of appointments that you set, and then the percentage of those appointments that stay on the books and turn into presentations. So I got 100. My goal is 106 presentations. Our team average persistency is 83%. So I'm going to multiply that by 83%. That means to account for no-shows, cancellations, one-leggers, things like that, that I need to set 127 appointments before the end of the year. Okay. Now I want to break that down to what do I have to do on a daily basis. So how many appointments do I have to set each day, assuming I work 5 days a week, right? We're salespeople. We're commission salespeople. This is assuming you're working 5 days a week. And of course, the key word there is working or work. Here's an interesting thing, though. This is probably a scary thought for most of you. It was for me when I actually did the math. If we kind of look at what's remaining in the month of, or in the year of 2020, with 4 months left, we have about 17 weeks left. If we account for the holidays, I'm going to pull 2 weeks out of that. So I'm going to say that there's now 15 weeks left between now and the end of the year. And then even taking that, and we're going to say we're going to work 5 days per week, and this is real work, 5 days a week. We take 15 weeks left times 5 days a week, and it's hard to believe that there's only 75 work days left between starting next week. So only 75 work days left. So I'm going to take that number. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to be working 75 days between now and the end of the year. I need 127 appointments. You divide that by your days of work of 75, and that actual math in this calculation was 1.69. Obviously, you can't set 0.69 appointments, so you're going to round that up to a 2, which is going to give you, obviously, a stronger position to be able to make sure that you finish your goals by the end of the year. This is, by the way, I challenge you to do this and work it. It's mathematically accurate. If you follow and you work it down, what we call reduce to the ridiculous of what you have to do on a daily basis, then it comes down to this. How many conversations do I need to have to set one appointment? We found that it's about 8 conversations, 8 to 10. It might be lower for you. It might be more. You probably have an idea. But if you can get someone on the phone 8 to 10 times, you can set one appointment. So that means that I've got to set 2 appointments per day. It takes me 8 conversations to set an appointment. So this is the one place we're going to do multiplication instead of division. And we're going to go 2 times 8. That means I have to have 16 daily conversations. Okay? So the first place you have to look when your sales are down is how many people did I talk to today? How many people did I talk to yesterday? In almost every single case, not in all cases, but in many, many cases, we have found that when sales are down, conversations are not where they need to be. So if you want to set 2 appointments, if you want to hit this income goal as it's stated here on this page, you've got to have 16 daily conversations. And then, of course, this is something that I want for you to put up on at your desk, because it's the last part in big, bold font, but it basically says, I'm going to reach my income goals through the end of the year by having 16 conversations every day. So if you come up short, you're obviously not going to be on track for your goal. So then, just as a reminder, as we wrap up the call here, the best way to track your conversations, if you're really serious about being goal-oriented and hitting your income goals, don't wait for the door to swing and the phone to ring, because that's not a guarantee. That's only a hope. You're in control here. Put yourself in the driver's seat. The best tool to use is, and Travis sent out on our pre-need pro tip last week, he sent out the daily prospecting page. This is the power prospecting page. This is where you track your daily conversations. So you've got that number now sitting up at your desk. I've got to have 16 conversations every single day. Now, every week I pull out a new daily power prospecting page, and I determine whether or not West is full of bullshit by actually doing it and having 16 conversations every single day. And if at the end of the year, if you follow this process, Aaron will kick in $100 too, and I'll kick in $100. If you do your goal sheet, write down to what we just said, and you do your daily power prospecting sheet, and you hit your minimum conversation goal and don't hit your income goal, I'll send you a $100 bill out of my wallet. And Aaron, will you back that up? Does anybody else want to back that up?
Yep, it works. You'll make more than 24,000.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So just kind of keep that in mind. We've taken up our time here. We'll send I'll send a blank sheet out to you, because I went through that math pretty fast. You probably couldn't do it. If you want some help going through it, we'd love to do that. If you're not really quite sure about averages, reach out to your manager. We can use team averages. We probably have a pretty good idea of your location and what your sales averages are. We can definitely help you have the right numbers there so that they're as accurate as possible. But this is a program that works, and if you've really dedicated yourself to self-learning and reading sales books and goal setting, and the numbers can get better as we get more experienced. But the reality is that sales is a numbers game. It really honestly is. The numbers improve as we get better and more proficient at what we do, or maybe we can do 1 appointment for every 5 conversations. Maybe our closing rate is 60 or 70%. Those things increase, but it's still at the end of the day a numbers game. So you see what the team averages are. That's a good way to compare yourself to how you're doing against the average of the team. So you'd obviously want to at least be average, but most people I talk to, when you tell them they're average, they don't really like that. So, I want to be above average. So there's some things that I need to work on to be able to get there. So that's how we do it, you guys. It's one of those simple versus easy things. It's simple. If you just follow this process, it's simple. Is it easy to do it every day and to be consistent? No, it's not. That's very, 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 very difficult. But the process in itself is a simple process if you follow it. So we'll send a blank sheet out to you, and we'll send you the daily power prospecting sheet in the same email, so you can start this. You can start it today if you want, but of course you can set your goals for the next 4 months and follow the program. And I can promise you that you'll, as Aaron said, will make more than $24,000. Those are very conservative numbers that I put in there, and that's the way I would usually do it personally. Is be conservative so that you're going to exceed your goals, not just hit them.
Yep. I just want to add one other thing right now in our bonus. We very rarely focus on the sales numbers. It's always about the activity. And we've talked about this before. No matter how you slice it, as you saw this, it's really just setting 2 appointments a day. So we love hearing from you guys. If you see someone else, if John's just posting 3 or 4 appointments in a day, reach out to each other. That's part of why we do this. Talk on WhatsApp, but you have John's number on WhatsApp. Call him and pick up the phone. John, just share with me. I know Kathy had reached out to Angie, and a few people kind of have side texting conversations. But if you want anyone's direct contact information, let us know, Because sometimes if someone's really on fire, pick up the phone and call, say, hey, just talk through with me what you're saying on the phone. It's amazing what you can pick up pretty quickly. So I love that. 2 conversations or 2 appointments, 16 conversations. You guys will all blow that goal out of the water. Good job, West.
Thank you. Wrap it.
Any questions or from anyone? Okay, good job to all of you. Amparo said she does not have a name tag, Michael, so I'll let you get on that.
No one there does, unfortunately. We'll see. We'll see if we can't change that.
Get like a hi, my name is, and just write it in that in marker.
That'll work.
Okay, all right. Good to see you guys. Congratulations again, Diana. Enjoy your trip. Love you.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.